Pastors stay with the flock and raise them and nourish them and protect them and care for them. A missionary goes out and starts a new flock. It's just that simple. Welcome back to the class. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects to mention. You know the title of it, what is a mission field? People get so confused about that, and the confusion comes because of the way we've been taught over the past 3-4 decades. I can remember growing up as a boy attending church that a mission field was something far away, but today we call our next door neighbor a mission field. Now, it's not a sin to do that. I won't say that there's nothing wrong with it because it misleads us as to what a mission field really is. So let's talk about that. We often hear our Christian leaders referring to their own towns as a mission field. But why? We promote youth missions trips. Then we take them to places like Houston or Miami where they clean up hurricane debris and pass out bottles of water. Well, biblically, these really are not missions trips, they are ministry trips. And there's a difference in the two. Now, a missionary may give away water, but everyone who gives away water is not a missionary. It's like a pilot may eat a bag of peanuts, but everyone on an airplane who eats a bag of peanuts is not a pilot, nor is everyone on the plane who works for the airline a pilot. They each have their own job to do, and trust me, you don't want an airline attendant in the pilot's seat. Now, K.P. Yohannan once said that after Pentecost, Jerusalem ceased to be a mission field and became a parish. What is the difference? Get this definition, it'll help you. A mission field is a place primarily populated by people who have never heard the gospel and are likely to have had little or no exposure to it. Paul made this distinction by stating that he, as a missionary, never built upon another man's foundation. What does that mean? Paul almost always preached where no one had gone before him. It's just like with us at Final Frontiers. We don't support American men to go to Guam or to go to Paris or to go to London as a, quote, missionary. Why? Because those are ministry fields, not so much mission fields. You can find the gospel there. It's on radio, it's on TV, it's in print, there's churches on the corner and so forth. It doesn't mean everybody's heard the gospel. It doesn't mean that every church is doing a good job. The point is the gospel is there. So that is a ministry field more than it is a mission field. Now, if you're going to places where the gospel has not reached in those communities or countries, that's a different story. But typically that doesn't happen. At Final Frontiers, we support men who are going to villages, to tribal groups, to communities that have never had a gospel influence. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't sometimes knock on a door somebody else has already knocked on, but for the most part, they're targeting areas that have had no gospel exposure, and that's what makes them a mission field. But why did he limit himself in that way? Because Paul was a missionary. And as a missionary, his job description was to take the gospel where it had never been preached before. He may have served for short periods of time as a pastor getting the church established, but his job was a missionary. Missionaries don't stay, they go. Pastors stay with the flock and raise them and nourish them and protect them and care for them. A missionary goes out and starts a new flock. It's just that simple. Now, once he had been in a town or village, he converted and baptized the new believers. Then he would develop a disciple, or 2 or 3, or leave someone behind to pastor this new flock as he moved on to the next place where Christ was still unknown. To the contrary, the Apostle James was not a missionary. He was a pastor. He lived and died in Jerusalem, feeding the flock God had given him, not converting the pagan idol worshippers of the outer empire. So you see that calling home a mission field is like calling a men's Sunday school class a nursery. Now, we all used to be babies, and maybe sometimes we still act like babies. We'll leave that up to you ladies to decide. But hopefully we are not babies any longer. So ignoring what the Bible teaches about missions has led us to spend vital missionary resources on what really should be considered local church ministry outreaches. The more we spend on our home fields, the less we have to spend on the foreign field.
A mission field is a place where Christ is predominantly or entirely unknown and unnamed. Are there any neighborhoods in your town that may fit that description? What will you do about it? If the tie belongs to the Lord, what should we do with it? What we want or what He wants? What steps can we take to accomplish that? What is the quickest, cheapest, easiest way to reach an authentic mission field? Is it by sending one of us to preach to them or helping one of them reach their own people? You decide, then do something to facilitate it.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode in our Understanding the Great Commission series. If you'd like a copy of the book, it's available in paperback, audiobook, and digital download. Just click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.